Hey guys, all done. The actual size is 2 foot by 12 foot. 2 foot by 12 foot runner. So the first thing that you want to do is crochet your grid or your palette. And that's where you're going to lay out your colors. A nice length. I'm going to go back into the second loop here. And this is where you start to create your grid. Fast forward a little bit. So this is where I'm creating my grid. It kind of looks like my sweater here. This is one of the reasons why I wore this sweater, so you could see how these patterns are formed here. Well, that's where we're going to hook through. I made them a little bit bigger here. It's a different type of stitch. And I wanted these open holes here so that we can loop our fabric through there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish this grid out here really quick. And finish that. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see this part. This is your base. This will be the base of your rug. This is where you're going to loop the fabric through. Okay. While I'm working on this, I'll tell you all the supplies that you're going to need, and I will post them. You're going to need yarn, a crochet needle, a pair of scissors, some tape, let's see, fabric, and you can pick your colors. Let's see. So you're going to cut your fabric pieces, I would say about 12 inches long and 1 inch wide. You don't want them too wide and you don't want them too thin. I'm creating here, this first part is the grid. So now that we have our palette, sometimes what I like to do, that way is to keep control of my bundles. And these are fabric pieces. So each fabric piece, let me pull one out for you. I would say it's about, this is about 6 inches. This is about 1 inch. So about 1 inch wide and 6 inches long. Now if it's a rayon fabric, 6 inches long. You don't have to make it really long. If it's a cotton fabric, you want it almost 12 inches because cotton, there's not that flexibility there. With the rayon, and you can stretch, you can stretch, you can stretch. And by the time you stretch it out, it'll stretch out to that 12 or somewhere close in facsimile of. So after all your pieces are cut, I usually like to put it in a bundle like this and then pull from the bundle. That's what the tape is for, just to keep it organized. Keep it from falling all over the floor there. So that's one bundle. All right. And then this is gray. This is a tie-dye gray. I thought would be really cute. Let's try that tie-dye gray. So again, we have a pattern. It's a little abstract pattern. We're going to match up our colors according to the abstract pattern. Okay, so the gray is going to be the trim, and then you have the red, and then you have the black. All right. So we're going to work with the red bundle first. I'm going to take one. So there's two ways you can do this. You can do it by hand if you're not used to using the hook. This is a crocheting needle. I'm going to bring it closer for you to see. See that hook there? So you want to wrap your fabric around that hook and give it one fold. So hold it together like that. Okay? Then you're going to loop it. See all these little nice holes here that we've created from that grid? You're going to loop it in that grid, okay? And hold it just like that. You loop it in that grid. You loop it around once and pull it through that hole. There you go. Now, if you're doing a hook rug, you'd pull that little loop like this, pull that needle out, and these two pieces would come through that hole like that, and you'd pull it. Okay? Now, that's one way to do it. I like to tie. I like to do it by hand. That way I know it's secure. Okay? And that if you machine wash this or send it to dry cleaners, it's not going to come apart. All right. So then you just start filling in this grid. Now, the other way you can do this, which is a lot easier if you're not used to crocheting, you can do it by hand. Just pull one of these little loops up, pull it up where you can see the hole there. See the hole there? Okay? And you're going to take your fabric and you're just going to push it through that hole. Push it through that hole. See that right there? You're going to pull it till you're halfway there with the fabric. You're going to tie it once, and then you're going to tie it again. And that way you know for sure that's not coming apart. You're going to have that forever. Okay? The only way that will come apart is if someone literally cut it from the back of your grid. That's the only way that will come apart. Okay, so it looks a little weird until you start filling it in. Once you fill it in, it gets fluffy. Now, the best fabrics that I like to use for the rugs are those plush fabrics. You know how you have the plush fabrics that make your throw blankets at your house? And they're so nice and they're so plush. Those are the best fabrics to work with. The best. The best fabrics to work with. So again, you're going to pull your hole and you're going to loop it through, push it through with your thumb. And that's probably the easiest way. That way you don't have to use the crochet hook, and everybody knows how to tie a bow or tie a knot. You're going to tie it in a knot. Okay? So now it's starting to fill out. Okay? So we don't lose our place and keep our pattern, let's start with the gray. Now, again, these are the rayon fabrics. They have that stretch. Rayon fabrics have stretch. Let's see here. Open up, pull out one of the rayon. I like this tie-dye too, so cool color. All right, let's see. Same thing. We're going to find our hole. Loop it through. That one's a little tighter. That's all right. That's all right. And halfway there, we're going to tie it. So once you get the hang of this, it goes pretty fast. There you go. See, it's starting to create a pattern. All right. Just keep it going here. Keep it going. Now, when you make your grid, if the stitches are really tight, sometimes you might have to use that crochet needle to help pull them through. All right, that one made it through, and a tie. There we go. We're getting there. We are getting there. Now see how they start to blend, the colors start to blend there? It's really gonna pick up when we do that black. All right, let's get a little more gray in here, the tie-dye gray. That gives a nice abstract color. With the tie-dye. Nice abstract pattern, I'm sorry. I said color. Abstract pattern. All right. And then let's see, I'm just going to show you the different variations of color. How they work into each other. Let's see how that black overlays the gray. Ah, look at that, look at that. Wham! All right. There we are. Very nice. And always remember, tie it in a knot. If you tie it in a knot, you know it's not coming apart. Unless someone cuts the back of the grid. That's the only way you get to come apart. Or if you sit here and go through each single stitch and untie it. That's the only other way that it would come apart. See how that pattern starts to form there? Alright, so now it's getting thick, getting thick. Alright, let's go back to our red. Fill it in there. Fill it in, fill it in. And make sure to stay tuned for other videos. The next one is how we made that coat. Let's see. All right, hang on 1 second here. Almost there. Pull it through. Loop it tie. Loop it tie. Now see how these don't give very much, but the rayon fabrics do. They have good stretch to them. So it's always best to work with the rayon fabrics like these that have the stretch. Or the plush fabrics. And they usually have a little bit of give to them also. They're very soft, very soft. I love the soft plush fabrics and fluffy, fuzzy pillows. You'll see a lot of fuzzy pillows at my house. Alright. And we'll make that one of our videos too. Just how to make a pillow. Save that for a future video. Alright. So this is a smaller version. What it looks like, and once the pieces lay down. And like I say, you just continue going with the strips. Always remember. Alright, almost there. Filling it up. Now, as far as what holes you go into, it's just random. As long as it starts looking full, and kind of rake it like that. There's a good hole. Especially the cotton and linen fabrics. If you use those, you'll get a lot of fray. So you want to continuously do this to kind of shake it off. See how heavy they are? They're heavy. Very nice, very nice. That's it, that's all. Well, thank you, and stay tuned for our fireplace video. I'll show you how I designed a faux fireplace. So here's a completed one. I love the colors. I put a lot of colors in it. That way, if I decide to switch my living room around, I know one of these colors will land something in my living room. So our next video will be this faux fireplace.